What's up, wrestling fans? Welcome back to Bono's Wrestling. Sorry about this horrible angle, but today I wanted to come to y'all live from Los Angeles, California. I'm on my way to the AEW Dynamite 300 and AEW Collision 100 taping right now in Ontario at the Toyota Arena. It's going to be a great night. This is the first live vlog I'm bringing to you guys. Wanted to just say thank you for all the support thus far. If you're watching, I love you. If not, no harm done. So yes, I'm on my way to Ontario right now and got another hour and a half just about before I arrive. But I got my Will Ospreay Bruv jersey on. Got my AEW hoodie. I'm super psyched to have a good time tonight at this event. We've got Kota Ibushi versus the Rainmaker Kazuchika Okada on deck. That's a non-title match. We've got a four-way match for the number 2 spot in the Casino Gauntlet at All In between MJF, Brody King, a few others. We've also got a 3-way match between the Bucks and Bandito, a few other big names in that match. Gonna be a good night. And so I'm gonna focus on driving because I don't want to be dangerous here. But thank you for watching. Welcome to this vlog. See y'all once I arrive in Ontario. All the best. Hey wrestling fans, welcome back to Bono's Wrestling. Just got here at 5 p.m. on the dot, so I'm kind of rushing in since the show's about to begin. But I wanted to get a quick shot of the production trucks. Yes, sir.
Suitcase full of hot dogs.
Texas Death Match for All In.
Briscoe.
right, wrestling fans, welcome back to Bono's Wrestling. And now that you've seen all the vlog footage from my time at the Dynamite 300 taping in Ontario, California, let's talk about how this show absolutely exploded out of the gate. And I apologize that there were some moments from the show that I didn't get on camera. I was there in person, having a good time, enjoying the moment as a huge fan. So there were some important moments that I didn't get on camera. But that's what this section of the episode is for me to recount my experience. So, we opened Dynamite 300 with none other than Hangman Adam Page stepping into the ring with that signature stoic intensity that only he is capable of delivering. And let me tell you, just being in the building for this, it was absolutely electric. All In was coming up shortly thereafter, a few weeks later. And so the second his music hit, the crowd was locked in. Hangman didn't waste any time getting down there. No cowboy shit chants, no playing to the audience. He just went straight for the throat of the Death Riders at the beginning of the show. So he gets on the mic and he lays it down. He wants Jon Moxley, and not just in any match. He wants a Texas death match at All In, and that's when the crowd just erupted. You could feel this collective mix of excitement and dread for the violence that was to come in that match. Because we know what happens, especially when Moxley and Hangman get in the ring in a Texas death match. You know they're going to tear each other to shreds. And so Hangman, continuing on in the promo, he talked about the scars, both the physical scars and the emotional scars that he's gathered over the past year or so, including the ones that Jon Moxley gave him himself, as well as the emotional scars that Hangman had been carrying essentially since Revolution 2024. That was when he failed to take the AEW World title from Samoa Joe in that three-way match with Swerve. And he began that ruthless obsession with Swerve where he was just going to such great lengths to ruin his life, including burning his house down, which culminated in their brutal steel cage match at All Out 2024. And so now in this clash with Moxley, Hangman basically said, if he can't end this clash on his own terms, then maybe he doesn't belong in All Elite Wrestling anymore altogether. And that line hit really hard. Because this wasn't just a promo. You could tell this was Hangman giving the fans a peek into the chaos that was unfolding beneath his skin, within his inner emotions, what's been brewing beneath the surface of Hangman's character. And you could tell this wasn't just a match to him. This was personal between him and Moxley. This wasn't about rankings. This wasn't about the AEW World title. This wasn't about TV time. This was warfare. Warfare, between the Cowboy and Moxley. This was about Hangman willing to put everything on the line. And as a fan in the building, you could feel the tension pull the air right out of the arena. So now I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Nobody delivers tortured cowboy angst quite like the Hanger. And it's when it's against someone as unhinged and dangerous as Moxley, especially under like Texas death rules of all things. We're not just in for a fight, we're in for violence with consequences in this match. And it all ended on a crazy note with the stipulation being confirmed for All In and Hangman hitting a buckshot lariat to Mina Shirakawa, Moxley's enforcer of the Death Riders. Crazy moment. So yeah, huge props to AEW for kicking off their 300th episode of Dynamite with something that immediately raised the stakes for All In. This didn't just feel like a promo. This was a mission statement for what's to come. Alright, so let's talk about the match that really had the crowd buzzing to get things going. Mercedes Mone versus Mina Shirakawa for the TBS Championship. This was a clash of styles, clash of swagger, great storytelling. The match definitely delivered. So first off, Mercedes' entrance. I mean, I've seen a lot of AEW crowds, but there was definitely like a different kind of energy in the arena for the CEO's entrance in Ontario. You could really feel the star power radiating off of her. The crowd was loud, it was passionate. and it was split kind of just enough down the middle to give Mercedes a real edge. Lots of CEO chants colliding with the love for Mina's charisma and heart as the challenger. So the opening stretch of the match, it was as per usual about the feeling out process. Mercedes trying to assert her veteran presence while Mina kept things unpredictable with her sudden bursts of offense and that signature playfulness that she kind of brings to the table. But don't let her glitter and her pink and sparkle fool you because Mina came to fight in this one. So then, about halfway through the match, things definitely shifted into a higher gear. Mina started targeting Mercedes' leg, trying to ground her, which honestly was a smart strategy on her part. She was mixing in submissions, flashy offense, and those stiff strikes that make you sit up and go, oh, wait a minute, Mina's not just here to dance. She's trying to win the TBS title. But as we know, Mercedes Monet, she's just built different. She turned the tide with those brutal knee strikes and her ring awareness. It's always elite level work on her part. There was a counter into the moneymaker that was just crisp, and it got one of the biggest pops of the night for sure. You could tell we were watching a champion who knows exactly when to hit the gas and close things out. The finish, it was clean, decisive, effective. Mercedes Monet retained the TBS title here, but not without being pushed to her limits. Mina didn't just come to make an appearance, she came to prove a point, and in doing so, she definitely elevated herself as a member of the AEW women's division. She elevated herself in front of a big North American audience. And after the bell, Mercedes, she did that little, nod of respect to Mina. Uh, it wasn't flashy, but it spoke volumes. She gave her props for her good performance in the ring. That's what I love about this new era of the AEW women's division. It's really not just about the belt, it's about building a division, building depth in the division. So props to both women in this match. They did great work. Monet stays on top, but Mina leaves with her stock way up. I'm sure there's some great stuff to come for her. I'd give this match about a 7.5 out of 10. Gonna give it about 3 3/4 stars, just under 4 stars for this match. So now let's shift gears into the fatal four-way match that had some serious implications for All In. MJF versus Brody King versus AR Fox versus Anthony Bowens, and the winner getting the number 2 spot in the coveted Casino Gauntlet match at All In. So now coming into this match, the buzz was all around MJF. It was his first match back since his match against Mystico at AEW Grand Slam Mexico on June 18th, and you could feel the anticipation building. But this wasn't a warm-up for him. He jumped right into an absolute war, and every single man in that ring brought something different to the table. Let's start with Brody King. As per usual, he was just a wrecking ball from the jump. That guy throws chops like he's trying to reset your spinal column. Every single time he got a hold of somebody, it just stopped the match cold. He was the heavy, the chaos factor, and he made sure nobody felt safe from start to finish. And then AR Fox, on the other hand, he brought that frantic, high-risk offense that makes every move feel like a gamble, just flying through the air nonstop. Say what you want about Fox's win-loss record. I know he's mostly been used to put other people over. He's taken a lot of losses. But when he's on, he is one of the smoothest, most innovative wrestlers on the roster. That springboard senton to the outside, that inward cannonball, it's amazing every time. The crowd ate it up as per usual. And then Anthony Bowens, man, he has come so far from just the scissor me catchphrase. He was the glue in this match, honestly. He had crisp timing, explosive offense, and the stamina to really keep the pace up with the other competitors. You could tell Bowens really wanted this win. The Acclaimed are kind of long in his rearview mirror, but he's trying to prove that he belongs in the singles mix now, so he did really well. And then MJF, he obviously got the loudest reactions out of the crowd. Thunderous, the crowd Really misses MJF. He definitely cuts more promos than wrestling matches these days, so he soaked it in. He did a great job. He milked his offense, his moves for all they were worth. Once the bell rang, it was clear this wasn't the MJF coding on charisma. This was MJF back to work. I mean, MJF, his in-ring IQ is off the charts, and people often don't realize that about him. And in a match this chaotic, this crazy, he used it to his advantage. He did great. The closing stretch was wild. Fox was flying everywhere. Brody smashing people. Every move was calculated. Every escape timely. MJF, like a thief in the night, he snuck in and capitalized as he usually does. He didn't overpower anybody. He outsmarted everybody. That's usually how he wins. He had like a pinpoint eye rake into a heat seeker. Vintage Maxwell Jacob Friedman. He won it with the heat seeker, and just like that, MJF is the number 2 entrant in the Casino Gauntlet match at All In. It's the perfect spot for someone like him, early enough to make a statement in the match, but sneaky enough to control the flow. Classic moves from the devil. Nobody's on his level. This match, it was a perfect blend of styles, of characters, momentum. Everyone looked good, but MJF looked especially dangerous in this one. And heading into All In, that's exactly what he wants you to think. So for this match, the 4-way for the number 2 spot in the Casino Gauntlet match at All In, I'm going to give it about a 7 out of 10, rated about 3.5 stars. It was very entertaining, and I loved everything about it start to finish. 3.5 stars out of 5 for me. So then afterward, Mark Briscoe, who has the number 1 spot in the Casino Gauntlet match at All In, he arrived and he asked MJF to meet him in the ring next week for a little talky talk before their All In clash in the Casino Gauntlet match. So next, Jet Speed came out and interrupted MJF and the Hurt Syndicate looking for a fight. Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin, they beat them down and blasted them repeatedly. They hurt them because they hurt people. That's what they do. But Kevin Knight and Speedball Mike Bailey, they kept getting back up, kept fighting him. And finally, the Jet, Kevin Knight, he grabbed a microphone and challenged Benjamin to a match that same night on Collision. MJF, he made a mockery of Jet Speed. He teased making a mockery of the 4-way, embarrassing everybody in that match. But he was awesome in that match. I mean, he showed what he could do in the ring alongside 3 of AEW's best workhorses. I actually would say that match was even better than the match the week before, which was the qualifier for the number 1 spot in the Casino Gauntlet match. That talk from Briscoe, it was funny. That was expected. I'm sure the best lines will be saved for next week when they have their talky talk prior to All In. The best part of this segment was definitely Jet Speed because they got their, high-flying offense in there that they do. The Hurt Syndicate, they've run through multiple teams since they've come to AEW. They haven't really had, like, a very formidable opponent thus far. But Knight and Bailey, they got up time and time again and sold that they may be the kryptonite for Lashley and Benjamin. This is definitely like the best build for a Hurt Syndicate match since the group arrived in AEW. And it would not be surprising if Jet Speed won the goal at All In. So as a whole, this all went a bit long, but the goal was accomplished in setting up the match for All In. Alright, y'all, we're just at about 30 minutes here in terms of the length of this video, so I'm gonna have to cut things off right here. But thank you so much for tuning in to watch this video, watching my vlog footage of the Dynamite 300 Collision 100 taping. I'm about halfway through the review of the Dynamite 300 episode, so this will be the end of part 1, and then in my next episode for part 2 of this same vlog, I'll review the rest of the Dynamite 300 episode, and I will review all of the AEW Collision 100 episode, which I got to see that same night as well. Also coming up soon is going to be my part 2 of my lifelong journey as a wrestling fan, where I describe the part of my journey growing up where I got to view lots of indie wrestling here in Southern California, which eventually translated to me becoming a huge fan of AEW. And I will also include part 2 of this vlog, as I just mentioned. There will also be an AEW All in Texas review coming up soon, and shortly thereafter, I'm going to get into some wrestling rankings and some pay-per-view rankings, ranking both all the pay-per-views for AEW's 2025 so far, and I'm also going to make a separate video ranking every AEW pay-per-view of 2024 as well. So thank you so much for tuning in once again, wrestling fans. I'm very grateful for all of y'all's support thus far. If you like what you see and you want to see more, hit right here, hit that subscribe button, so you don't miss a thing. You'll be notified every time I upload a video. So thanks for tuning in again, wrestling fans. Happy wrestling. All the best. See you in the next one.